Hey, good evening, Maria. Back with another video. It's 5:50 p.m. It is July 22nd. I believe today is Wednesday. Yes, it is. So we are getting close to the evening time, and so I've been doing a lot of thinking today about this whole situation. And when you are dealing with gang stalking, you want to get to the root of what is the issue. Why is this happening to you? So I've been digging for many years, and of course, I've been making a lot of videos. So I've come to the conclusion that what is sticking, what is clinging to me, what is this thing that's preventing me from moving on. And I know that my ex-family, as well as my ex-husband's family, has created problems for me. And I have made every effort to sever ties in the most civil way I possibly can. Okay, so I wanted to make this video real quick because I want to be very clear on stuff because I'm going through a lot mentally, and obviously I've dealt with a lot of injustices. First of all, I want to address some of these injustices, and I titled this video "Who Are They Anyway?" And the reason why I'm making this video and asking this question is because there seems to be a lot of, number one, guilty consciences, because there's a lot of guilt on their conscience, because everybody seems to be wanting to cover their ass on this subject. And I know my family is very hush hush, and they've been very quiet about things, and they're feeling very guilty, and I don't really care because I have no intention of ever talking to them. And I already explained to you why. My issue now is I'm going to address my ex-husband's family, and I want to do this in a very civilized manner, and I want this issue to come to an end because I have made an effort to leave the marriage, and that is what I chose to do. And I did so not based on impulsive reasons or spontaneous reasons, or not without thinking them through clearly. Okay, I made a decision because of the abuse that was inflicted on me. Okay, and I know that he knew what was going on with my irate ex-family members coming in, imposing their shit, and then causing these problems in my workplace. And I had even discussed these bizarre, strange phenomenons that were going on in my workplace with him. Okay, so he knew what was going on. He had full knowledge of what was going on. Saw me going through a tremendous amount of stress. There were times where I literally felt like my brain was going to explode. I went through hell, okay? And, mentally, emotionally, even financially. And he sat there, just letting me do it. Also, I understand that I'm not exactly sure at what point our marriage was annulled or what point he ended up getting married, but I do know that he had a relationship with his mom, okay? And so I feel as though, just like my family scapegoated me, he scapegoated me because he allowed me to shoulder the burden of being known as a home wrecker when that was not the case at all. I had married Joel and got together with Joel thinking that, of course, that was his mother and that there was no sort of relationship between those two at all. But he allowed me to go through severe mental trauma and abuse, not just from my family, but places that I worked and everything else, through gossip and everything. And he allowed that to happen. He allowed it to happen, okay? And his mother also allowed it to happen. And I did remember talking to her one time when I was very concerned about what's going on. So I went and paid her a visit. And this was on my lunch break that I was entitled to have. So I thought I'd take the time out to go see her, and I started talking to her, and she asked me how much money I was making. Now, mind you, this is a question that I was raised never to ask anybody, and it's a very intrusive question. Like, I never ask my sister's husband how much money they make. I would never ask my neighbor how much they make. I would never ask my son's wife how much she made. It's one of those things that's personal. Okay, just like, are you wearing a girdle underneath your outfit? Are you wearing a wig? Those are the things you don't tell people. It's personal, right? And so I remember saying, okay, well, I first I was hesitant, but then I went out and told her. And then she was saying, oh, that's too much. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You don't have the right to tell me how much I'm supposed to make, okay? And if you had an issue with it, if Joel had an issue with it, he, as my husband, should have brought that up, okay? But there's a lot of things that go on and puts me in a situation where I had to deal with your abuse, okay? So right when I got back to work, I ended up losing my job. I lost a good paying job. Now, mind you, I didn't like the job anyway, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because there was that presence in my office from the very day that I got there, knowing, okay, that I was dealing with the scripted conversations and all this other stuff that I didn't appreciate, okay? And that does not belong in the workplace, okay? So I didn't really like the job, but did I enjoy the task that was assigned to me? Yes, I had a great enthusiasm for the tasks that were being assigned to me. Did I like the office environment, the feel of it, the toxic feeling of the being bombarded with a lot of indoctrination that made no sense to me? No, I didn't, okay? And I didn't appreciate it. But I handled it. I managed it well because I needed a job, okay? So whatever. So then she decides to wipe my job away, okay? And then from that point on, I was getting nightmare jobs, okay? Jobs that were even worse than you can even imagine. And so, after I realized that the blame was cast on me, so this community literally abused a woman who was in fact the victim all along. I was a victim of human trafficking of a man who is already married to his mother, okay, to his mother, and I was being treated like I was garbage, okay? And they both, him and his mom, sat there and let it happen. Now I realized that something was wrong. So I made a decision to get a divorce, which I had him served with divorce papers back in 2017, somewhere around there, okay? My divorce didn't actually get finalized until 2018, okay? But he received those divorce papers. He was served papers at his job. If he wanted me to pay alimony, okay, he could have gotten a lawyer. It said all the stuff that he needed to do. If he wanted to talk about assets, if he wanted to talk about these sort of things, if he wanted to, he could have gotten a lawyer at that time, okay, so that we could talk about how we were going to split up our non-existing assets, okay, because we never owned a house, we don't have any boats, we don't have any yachts, we don't have any timeshares, we don't have dooley squat, okay, so he would have done that, okay. This is not how you handle it. So I know that Joel is still living over at our old house, which we moved into 10 years ago, okay. So when I moved out, I initially offered, I said, well, why don't I stay here and you go back and move with your mom, okay, because I was the one who paid the security deposit, I was the one who paid for the entire move-in and everything else. But he argued and got pissy and said no, he wasn't going to do it, okay. So then inconvenienced me, scapegoat Maria, so Maria moved out on her own, okay. Maria moves out on her own, okay, and so the divorce becomes finalized. Apparently he's still living there. Now I'm never comfortable with him being there, and I'm going to tell you why. But he can live where he wants. I'm not sitting here worried about his well-being. Believe me, I'm afraid of this man, okay. Anybody who would allow somebody to deal with the social consequences of what someone else did, what he did, okay, without telling me he was with his mom, with all of this other stuff, and being blamed for all this shit, I don't care what happens to him, okay. But it makes me wonder, is he staying there because he thinks I'm coming back home? I'm coming back home. I'm not coming back home, okay. And so we still have issues of me looking for work because these people are taking instructions from people thinking that I'm going back to my ex-husband. I'm not going back to Joel, okay. And if this means I end up dead in the streets, well, I guess I'm going to be dead in the streets, because I'm not going back to a man who abused me, who watched me lose every damn thing that I ever cared about, okay, literally destroyed my ability to provide for myself, and then tries to create lures for me to come back in, and the only way that I can get a job is so I can take care of this man. Now, Joel is a grown man. If he wants to take care of himself, I don't know what he's going to do in his later years, but I'm not going to work to take care of him, okay. And the reason why I'm asking who are these people anyway? Why does my family feel as though they are complying with their request to make me stay with Joel? Is it because, now I know my ex-sister Tanya is what we call the mooch, okay? She's always been moochy. She's always been moochy. She tries to get benefits. She always wants to network because she wants to get something, okay? She's always got her hand out for something. Now, I don't know about Joel's mom. For all I know, Joel's mom had a meager income. She got it from like sources, I guess, maybe from her husband's retirement, or his retirement fund, or I don't know exactly where her source of income comes. You know, the reason why I was never nosy about those things, because I respect and mind my own business. And the main reason was because I'm not a gold digger. I never asked or expected Polly to dole out anything to me. I never expected her when she died to give me anything in her will or anything, okay? And especially now because I'm divorced and I have divorce papers to prove it, okay? But is my family adamant about me staying with Joel because Tanya wants to get benefits through maybe Joel's aunt? I know Joel's aunt, it might be in a better financial position. I don't actually know much about her assets either, but I know that she probably makes a decent living, and I figure she did pretty well for herself since she travels. But it never occurred to me to go up to her with my hand out and ask her for anything. Okay, so in my family's mind, they view marriage as a business deal, okay? But that's not what I agreed to when I married Joel, okay? I didn't ask for a business deal, and I certainly didn't ask for these motherfuckers to jump on board and start defining my marriage. Never asked for it, okay? I don't know what you did and why you feel as though I'm some sort of community property, which I'm not property, okay? And to treat me like I'm property is human trafficking, okay? I'm not going to support Joel. Okay, I'm not going to be in the same house as Joel. Okay, and by putting me in the same house as Joel, you're putting his life in danger. I'm just going to say that right now. Okay, and it was a foolish thing that you did to come in here and start this nonsense and this bullshit and to try to, make me into this wonderful little wife for Joel Graham when Joel Graham is his mother's lover. And I was blamed for being this homewrecker when I had no idea. I was the victim. Okay? I was the victim. Now, mind you, I will tell you, I will apologize for me meeting Joel and lying about who I was, my race or whatever. And that, to me, sorry about that, okay? All right? But what we did was we got divorced. All right? But that still doesn't explain the fact why you were married to your mom, why all this other stuff, why you took advantage of my employment, why all this stuff. None of that, no, you can't justify all that. You can't justify that, okay? We are getting into our older years, okay? And I've been saying this for many, many, many times, okay? My older years are very important to me. They're very important to me, and I do not, and I will not, spend them with you, okay? And you might say, oh, I'm sorry that you did this. You might be sorry. You might be sorry that I threw this and I figured it all out, threw out in town, and I figured it all out. That's what you're sorry about. Or you might be sorry that I'm not an active participant in taking care of you because you don't have any retirement benefits and you need 2 incomes to survive. Okay? I'm well aware what it takes in order to survive in this world, okay? And you don't see me wanting handouts from other people. Okay? I was willing to take 2 jobs in order to support myself, because that's how important it is for me to heal and be away from people who are too crabby for me, who want to use and abuse me. Okay, I'm taking responsibility for my own life, and that's what I've tried to do. Okay, you've put in a system in place, and I know Joel knows people. I know he does. Okay, and maybe people think what he did was right, or maybe they think it's okay and it's funny. It's not funny. I would never forgive a man who abused me in the manner that he did. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? So who are these people? Is my family, my sister Tanya, getting some sort of benefit from these people? Or is she sitting, is this particular group of people her main, niche? Is she using these people? Because that's all she does. She uses people. She uses people because they have bigger resources or whatever. I don't know, okay? But you stop treating me like I'm goddamn property. Okay, I am not property. I'm a human being, and I have every right to live my life separately from people who abuse me. And that's all you guys do. You abuse me. Okay? I don't love Joel. I'm never going to love Joel. Okay? I don't love his mother. I don't love the way that she treated me. I'm not trying to be mean. I just want this issue to end, as it should. As it should. Sorry about that. As it should end. Because we shouldn't be. These people should have never involved themselves in my employment. Hang on a second. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, no flies, no flies, no flies, no flies, no flies. Okay, so anyway, got a little bit distracted here. Okay, please forgive me. I had to be interrupted for a second, but I'm not trying. I really don't want the argument to continue on. I'm just saying it because I wake up every day and I struggle to look for work, and I have to look for work, and every day is I'm looking for work because I've been traumatized by this issue so many times in the past. So many times in the past. And for some people, it's inconceivable why or how somebody could have the guts and the courage to cut off ties with people that they knew all their lives, okay? But I'm going to tell you, when I consider what everything that's happened to me in my life, it makes it pretty goddamn easy. And I think it's a respectable thing for you to let me go and leave me alone. Now, I don't want people expecting me to go back to Joel because I'm not going back to Joel, okay? And I really resent the fact that I have already stated this, and there was still people who wanted to cling on or thought that I was going to be dumb enough. Only an idiot would forgive somebody for doing that to them. Okay? Exploiting them in the manner that they have, especially under the conditions, knowing that this person is married already or they're in a relationship with their mother, which is weird enough. That's very weird to me, okay? And maybe everyone in this community thinks it's normal. But let's just put it this way. Let's just eliminate the fact that that's his mom. Still his lover. Okay? Still his lover. And they're expecting me to take care of this man financially. No. If that's the case, I'm going to tell you right now. Let's clear this up right now. The answer is no. Okay? Now, maybe my family feels guilty because I personally feel as though they are the ones who started the falling apart of me and Joel. Now, I would have eventually found out, maybe I would have eventually found out about him and his mom. I probably would have, okay? And I definitely found out about him manipulating my employment, which I would have left anyway, okay? But what really started getting me wondering was all the weird, crazy stuff that was going on in the workplace, okay? And I suspect that my family wanted to stir up trouble, went out of their way to tell Joel, to put a bug in Joel's ear, because I will tell you about, oh, Maria, she's dressing nice at work. You better be worried about that. I'm going to tell you what, Joel and I have never had issues about what I wore to work. Like I said before, he would take me shopping. He would suggest me getting new things. He would, he bought me a sewing machine. He never did those things. He never once told me. He would critique my clothes. He would tell me what he thought was cute. He would do all this other stuff. He never showed me any way that he disapproved of what I wore to work, ever. My hair, nothing. Okay, now these people, my blood relations came in and started creating problems for Joel, and then this whole thing spiraled, all because of their outside intrusion. And maybe they feel guilty about causing all of this, because really, I'm not saying it's all my family's fault, because obviously he was with his mom and he obviously wasn't dumb. I mean, he knew he shouldn't be messing with my employment, but he did, and he kept it secret. So I would say that these people are all involved and they are guilty, but okay, it was started by these people. Like, they were putting this issue, they were taking their little competition and creating problems for me, just like they create problems with all my other relationships, all my other friendships, okay? Making it out like Maria's such a villain, she's such a bad person. And so maybe they feel guilty. So, like, in order for them to, ease their conscience, well, they should stay together because we didn't mean to break them up. I don't want to be with him. Okay? And if you put me in the same house with him, I'm going to get violent. Okay? I'm going to do everything I can to protect myself. I'm not kidding you here. Okay? What you did, you made a foolish mistake. You should not have done what you did. Okay. Now, maybe Joel, maybe in the past, maybe his family was the one who got me the job at the news station. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe his, somehow or another, he's the one who got me the job over at the Murray's place. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. Well, if he did, thank you very much. Okay. But whatever was established, whatever jobs I got, they were all knocked down because of this bullshit that would come in with the bullshit bullying, the harassing, the mobbings, blah, 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 blah. You name it. It was all their fault. Okay? I did everything I could to hang on to my jobs. I worked harder. I was being nice to people. I would sit there and have conversations with that stupid, bitchy AR clerk over there in Chatsworth, okay? And be nice. Try to get along. I did everything I could to hang on to my job. Okay? And it never worked. So, I will tell you right now, I don't owe you anything. So, if Joel wanted me to pay some sort of alimony, okay, which I know he and I talked about alimony when we first got together, in a general conversation. Not that we were at the time thinking about divorce, but I remember saying, I don't believe that, I think people should pull their own weight, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Now, I don't owe Joel anything. Now, if he wanted to get alimony, he should have, when he got served those papers, he should have got himself a lawyer, okay, and did what he needed to do, okay? And if he needs somebody to take care of him, I don't know what to tell you, okay? And just because I'm alone doesn't mean I'm desperate. I'm not that alone that I'm going to lower my goddamn standards to work like a slave for a man who treated me like garbage. Period. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I hope that there's going to be a peaceful resolution to this, and I'm sorry that you thought that you had the right to choose my jobs and do the things that you did, and I'm not being stubborn, I'm not being rebellious. This is not about that. It's about me saying, you have taken up too much of my life. And I think the facts speak for themselves. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I also would like to say that, like I said, I'm not happy with the fact that Joel is still living in that house, because it always makes it seem like, is he expecting me to come back? Because I'm not going back. I am not going back to you. Okay? I don't want to see you. I saw him at the store a few months ago, and I was disturbed by it. I didn't say anything. I took me a while to actually recognize him, and I didn't say anything, and I don't want to see him. I don't want to see his mom. I don't want to see anybody he's related to. Okay? Some things, and I want to talk, I'm going to be doing a video called Morals and Dogma in a little bit, but I want to say that I want to touch a little bit on this topic of unconditional love, okay? I don't believe in unconditional love, because love has its conditions. Just like, my family came in here and bullied me and treated me like a second-class citizen, because love has its conditions. They barely cared about me in the first place, okay? But they could tolerate me more when I was someone they could easily manipulate, they could easily abuse, they could talk down to, but when I stand up for myself, they don't like it. So they went fucking berserk and crazy, okay? I don't believe in unconditional love. Okay, love has its conditions. Okay, now if Joel may have had, maybe he might have slipped up and did a few indiscretions or something, or whatever, I could understand that. Okay, but when you see somebody tormented, worried, going through psychological distress, okay, severe depression, worried about their job, and then you go and you express this to them. You're like, this stuff is going on at work. I don't know what's going on, and I'm dealing with these strange things. And they know, and they don't tell you. They're covering for somebody else that you don't give a fuck about. No. I know these people have no regard for who I am as a person, and everything that they do shows it. Okay, and I'm like I said, I don't want to carry this argument. I didn't want to continue a fight. I don't want to fight. When I got a divorce, I wanted to say goodbye. Now, and that's what I wanted to do. Okay? Now, maybe Joel's family thinks, oh, well, we didn't realize how nice she is. We're sorry. Well, then if you're sorry, then let me go and leave me alone. Let me heal in peace. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing pleasant or wonderful or that brings me any joy in conjuring up thoughts of any of you guys. That means Joel's family or my blood relationships. relations and their spouses and whatever, their children's children or whatever. Okay? Some people can get abused to the point of where they just can't. I mean, what you guys expected me to do and how you expected me to live and how you wanted me to sacrifice my life and treat me like I'm garbage, okay, at the same time, and then exploit me publicly and expect me to just turn around and be like, you guys need to go find yourself another scapegoat. And I don't suggest you do, because that's really wrong what you do. It's what you do is really wrong. So I would like you to stay out of my life, okay, and let me heal. So I'm going to wrap up this video. I will be back with another video some other time later. To all TIs, stay safe.